Dear students, today the topic of our lesson is the story of Keesh. It is a beautiful story written by Jack London. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to know about the author, to improve vocabulary, to learn about the story, and answer all the given questions. About the author. Jack London was an American author, journalist, and social activist who was born and brought up in and around San Francisco. He is the author of much fiction, including two very widely read and exciting books called White Fang and Call of the Wild. London wrote over 20 novels and dozens of short stories, which he had published in magazines. The story of Keesh was written in 1902. Jack London has written this story as if it is being spoken or passed down from one generation to the next in the oral tradition of folk tales. The story of Keesh is a story about life in a remote community. It is also a story about fairness, confidence, courage, and headcraft, which are the best leadership qualities. The theme of this short story is the sacrifice which is forgotten. Keesh tries to prove that his father has become the savior for his community. He comes again to make the society aware that they have to appreciate every sacrifice of the person. The style is interesting and conveys the characters' ways of speaking well. The author makes the story sound by using lots of old words, phrases, and structures. The difficult words and their meanings. The first one is accomplished. Accomplished means expert, skilled. Aghast. Aghast means struck by shock or amazement. Apportioned. Apportioned means divided, allotted. Blubber. Blubber means thick fat of marine animals. Contented. Contented means asserted, maintained. Next is discomfited. It means beaten or made uneasy. Ice pack. Ice pack means a floating mass of ice. Forward. It means forward. Next word is grey. Grey is a mixture of black and white color. Unprecedented. It means having no previous example. Grizzled, having gray hair. Reckoning, reckoning means calculating, figuring. The old word for you. This is the old form of you. Thrashed, moved violently. Bone barbed, having sharp points. Oft times, often. Now, questions and answers. Question A. How was the story of Keesh remembered from one generation to the next? Answer. The story of Keesh was remembered from one generation to the next through storytelling. Question B. What does the author mean by he had seen 13 sons? Why only 13 sons? Answer. The author means that the boy is 13 years old. His people's way of measuring years is in sons, because in North Polar region it is dark for half the year and light for the other half. So the sun rises and sets once a year. Question C. Who was Bok and how did he die? Answer. Bok was Keesh's father. He was killed by a polar bear while trying to kill it in order to feed his people during the time of famine. Question D. What complaint did Keesh make at the council? Answer. Keesh's complaint at the council was that he was not getting a fair share of the meat. The portion of meat he and his mother received was often tough and old with a lot of bones. Question E. How did the men react to Keesh's statements in the council meeting? Answer. The men reacted to Keesh's statements in the council meeting by shouting at him to go to bed because he was only a child. They felt that he should not have been complaining. Question F. What did Keesh resolve to do? Why? Answer. Keesh resolved to go out hunting by himself and to share his skill fairly. He wanted to ensure that all should be given their fair share. No widow nor weak one shall cry in the night. Question G. What had Keesh been doing to make him sleep for 20 hours? Answer. Keesh needed to sleep for 20 hours because he had been out hunting for the first time. He had traveled out along the shoreline and killed a she-bear and 2 half-grown cubs. Question H. Who was sent to follow Keesh and why? Answer. Bim and Bon were sent to follow Keesh to find out if he was using witchcraft when hunting the bears because the council could not understand how he was so successful at it. Question I. In what way did Ugluk takes Keesh? Answer. Ugluk takes Keesh with the accusation to his face that he was using witchcraft. Question J. What was Keesh's headcraft? Answer. Keesh's headcraft was clever thinking, an inventive idea that allowed him to hunt successfully. Dear students, I hope that you would have learned all the questions and answers of the story of Keesh. Thank you very much. Goodbye.